viewers, it's Swad Prepper here. I wanted to talk a little bit about inflation in this one because I hear a lot of people talking about inflation. I see a lot of comments touching on inflation, and they seem to misjudge exactly what inflation is, and they seem to misjudge exactly what this food crisis is. We talk about it often in the prepping community, but somehow a lot of people still don't get it. So I wanted to talk about that. Just explain what it is. Just explain exactly what we mean by a food crisis. What we mean by a food crisis is you won't be able to go into Walmart and buy your favorite food. It might be there, but it likely won't. If it is there, it's going to be too expensive for you to buy. Only the elites will be able to afford it. You'll go into Walmart and you'll see empty shelves. Loads of them. Don't get me wrong, I don't believe we'll see a Walmart that is just completely empty, just completely bare. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think we'll see that. Could, but I don't think we will. What I do think we'll see is a Walmart that shelves are very bare. Bare necessities on the shelves. Jacked up prices. Prices through the roof. Prices that'll do your head in. Those sort of prices, that's what I think you'll see. I think that if you haven't stocked up and you're simply just relying on Walmart, you will slowly and surely perish. Why? Because the average person won't be able to afford a $5 box of crackers. The average person won't be able to afford a $5 can of beans. The average 9-to-5 job does not support a rich lifestyle. What is a rich lifestyle? Well, a rich lifestyle is when you spend unnecessary amounts of money on unnecessary amounts of food. So just take this into account. If you go to Hollywood, if an average person goes to Hollywood, they can't even afford a week's vacation there. Why? Because the prices are so high, they're through the roof, that nobody can afford to eat there. Disney World. You go out there for a day, you're broke. You spent all your money. The average person can't afford those prices. I'm talking about Disney World prices, Hollywood prices, everywhere, every day. For the things that are still on the shelf, because not everything is going to be on the shelf. Not everything you need will be on the shelf. That's if you're willing to go out to Walmart in the first place, because the way I see it, Walmart will probably be a dangerous place to be. You go out to Walmart, you risk being shot. You go out to Walmart, you risk going out there just to witness some sort of stampede. You get trampled. Now on to the food crisis. Tons of people say, oh, you all are talking about this food crisis that doesn't exist. You guys are talking about, oh, this burned down, that burned down, but I don't see any difference in my Walmart. I can still go down to the grocery store and buy what I want, so I think you guys are just being crazy. I think you guys are just making it up. Dude, here's what the deal is. All these crops that you see burning down, all these food corporations that are spiderweb right in the middle of the street. All these food corporations that you see being burned to the ground. Your big friend Justin Trudeau saying that he's cutting fertilizer by 30%. All of that, that's not going to mess with this year's produce. That's not going to mess with this year's rake-in. What that's going to do is set up next year's rake-in to be terrible. What that's doing is setting up next year, 2023, 2024. That's when you're going to notice what happened this year. So this year's burned crops, this year's 30% fertilizer down, this year's eggplant being completely destroyed. This year's cut of some millions of chickens. All that is going to show next year. You won't see that this year. This year's produce had already been brought in last year. All that had already happened last year. So whatever happened this year as far as the food market goes, you're going to feel it next year. I'm sorry if you didn't understand that, and that's why you were leaving those comments of, oh, the food crisis doesn't exist. Yes, it does. You'd be a fool to think it doesn't. So get that through your head. Take that into consideration. What are you prepared for? I'll see if I can explain this one last time as clear as day. Any food crisis that happened last year will affect this year. Anything that happened where food is concerned this year is going to affect next year's shelves. So the food crisis that we have this year is going to look 10 times worse next year, because this year they killed millions of chickens in the name of disease. This year they burned down over 20-some plots of farmland. This year they destroyed hundreds of eggplants. Egg plantations, if you don't understand what I mean by egg plantation, not eggplant as in the plant. Eggplant is an egg plantation. All that is going to show next year. So folks, be prepared for that. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be fun. No one's going to like it. Hey, I see a lot of people as if they're excited about this whole idea, as if they're excited about, oh, yeah, I'll finally get to use all my prepping stuff, and I'll finally have my prep bag, my bug out bags, and I'll have my weapons and everything just ready to go. It'll be like living in a video game. Hey, you want to be excited for that? Go ahead. Look forward to it. It'll give you something to look forward to when it all happens. But it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun. No matter who you are, no matter how many preps you have, it's not going to be fun. Alright, that's it. That's all I had for today. Stay prepping. Stay out of the heat. It's actually a nice day today. The sky is completely clouded over. Beautiful sky. It rained. That's why I'm wearing my hood and cloak. Completely rained. It was just a nice. The weather's actually fair. It's not hot. I'm walking down the road without sweating. It's just a nice day. Alright, stay prepping. Stay out of the heat. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll catch you on the field of battle.